What's going on, everybody? Tom here with Keto Lifestyle, and welcome to today's video. Now, I know I'm off-centered, it's bothering me too, but trust me, I need this space right here, because today we are going to be doing the first review we've done in quite a while, and that is for the Slimfast Keto line. Now, I kind of stumbled across these things by accident. I wasn't really looking for keto products, but it was about 8:30 in the morning, and I had some friends coming over, so I went on a beer run to go get a case of Michelob, and I went to the only place in the world where it is socially acceptable to go buy a case of beer at 8:30 in the morning. Walmart. So, walking through the store, I see this giant sign that's just like, Keto, in massive letters. And to me, that says, run the other way. But for the sake of this channel and you guys, I wanted to go investigate and see what Walmart was now trying to sell us as keto. That way I could issue some sort of PSA if the product was garbage. Underneath the sign, I found these guys right here. So this is the new line of products from Slimfast, which are keto friendly. But we're going to investigate today whether or not the ingredients are keto friendly and go through a bit of a taste test. Now, yes, this is the exact same Slimfast that has been pumping weight loss shakes to our moms for the last 20 years. Keep that in mind when we look at the packaging, and once I'm done with the review, I'm actually going to go through some things that I thought were really funny on this box. So to start things off, we are going to start this bar right here, and this is the whipped peanut butter chocolate bar. First thing I want to go over is the macros. So that space you were wondering about, the macros are going to go right here. Per bar, we're talking 190 calories, 14 grams of fat, 7 grams of protein, 15 total carbs, of which 9 are dietary fiber and 2 are erythritol. But if you look at the bottom of the box right here, if not, I'll put it next to me, they're only counting it as 3 net carbs. Why? Because they're subtracting glycerin as well. I don't subtract glycerin. I don't know if there's really a reason to subtract it or not subtract it, but the more things you start subtracting, the more I feel like you're just playing games with net carbs and trying to make things look keto that are not. So that was the first red flag I saw right there, before I even started looking at the ingredients. Now let's take a look at the ingredients. In this one here, there is something called isomalto oligosaccharide, or IMO, which is basically like a sweetener syrup. It's considered a sugar fiber, but that's not entirely accurate. Your body can dissolve it, and it actually has a glycemic index of 34 or 35, which is about half of that of sugar, but it is still going to cause some form of an insulin response. Is that enough to make me not want to eat these bars? No, I'm still going to try them, because there's only about 9 grams of dietary fiber in here, so even if every gram of fiber came from that IMO, that's still not that much in the grand scheme of things. But I would count this as more carbs than just the 4 net that you're seeing, because there is going to be some digestion of those carbohydrates, even though it is technically a fiber. But let's try this. And if you guys are thinking about clicking out of the video, hold on a second, because one of these products is actually perfectly keto compliant, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, let's try out this one first. Now, my initial opinion is it reminds me of a Butterfinger. It kind of has that flaky feel to it, even though it's not flaky. Something about the way the filling crumbles in your mouth reminds me of that flakiness. There are also some chocolate chips in there, if you can see that at all, to give it a little bit of texture. I do think it tastes good. It's definitely sweet though, so I do wonder how this is going to affect insulin. Moving on to the next one. And that is not the most keto friendly in the world as well. These have the exact same ingredients and the exact same macros. I'll pop them up here again. But this is the triple chocolate flavor. We already went through the ingredients on this one, but again, this has IMO, and they both also have a cultured dextrose in them, which basically is just a fermented sugar. And it's a very blanket term. It can basically be any type of fermented sugar. Some will cause an insulin response, some won't. But that's the second to last ingredient. So I'm not as concerned about that as I am about the IMO. We are still going to try this though, just to see if it's worth anything. That's good, actually. I believe it kind of tastes like one of those malted milk balls, or like a Whopper, I think is what they're called. Those little chocolate balls that have the white filling. That's kind of what it reminds me of, and a lot of that crunch that I'm picking up on is coming from cacao nibs. So there are actually some good quality ingredients in this, despite the fact that there is IMO. So, moving on to the last one that I'm going to try is the fat bomb. And this one is actually perfectly keto, guys. I'm going to put the ingredients right here. There is nothing in these that I would not be comfortable putting in my body regularly. These two, I'd be a little uncomfortable with doing it all the time. This one, not at all. And the macros on this are also great. I'm going to put them up right here. Per serving, which is 1 cup, we have 90 calories, 9 grams of fat, 1 gram of protein, and 6 total carbs, of which 3 are fiber and 2 are erythritol. No IMO in here. The sweeteners are stevia and erythritol, which is pretty good. Here is what they look like. I was expecting a package of 2, but they only come in 1. But if they're good, then I can let that one slide. First reaction pulling this thing out is if you're expecting a peanut butter cup or like a Reese's peanut butter cup, you're going to be a little bit disappointed. The chocolate is definitely a lot waxier, so it's going to be probably pretty brittle. But let's taste it. These are actually really good. I enjoy the flavor. One thing I just want to note, I was just looking at the front of the box. I don't know what they're using for this yellowy, orange, brown filling here, but this is definitely not the product that they're photographing. If you look at here, it's more of this kind of white color, and that's going to be from either the cacao butter or coconut oil, whatever they're using as a base for that filling. It's not going to give you this pretty color. But that being said, it is still a really good product. It tastes fantastic. It's not too sweet, but it is very sweet. The peanut butter is kind of a second-class citizen here. It's not the star of the show. It's the chocolate that definitely comes through, but you still get the peanut butter on the back end, which I really enjoy. Especially for 90 calories, I'd eat these more often than not if I didn't feel like making fat bombs. So my overall opinion, these two, they're probably not the most keto-friendly item. I'm not going to try to sell you guys to eat them when I personally wouldn't do it very often. Now, if I'm on a road trip and I stop off at a gas station in the middle of nowhere and they've got these or they've got a Snickers bar, of course, I'm going to choose these. It's going to have some insulin response. It's going to do something, but it's not going to be as bad as having sugar. That being said, at $10 a box, so there are, 5 bars in here, 14 peanut butter cups in here, and it's $10 for any of these, I'd really be hesitant. For $2, I think you can do something a lot better than these bars. Take, for example, the Keto brick, which, depending on how you buy it, is about $8 a brick. They're about 1,000 calories. So that's about how many calories are in each one of these boxes. And there's a lot better ingredients, higher quality ingredients, and you're getting it from, a home business, which is a lot better than supporting these massive corporations. So if it were up to me and I wanted something that was 200 calories, I'd probably go buy Keto bricks and portion them out. These are good if you're in a pinch, but I really wouldn't recommend it. Coming over to the peanut butter cups, these are actually really good. I'm sitting here staring at this, waiting for the video to be over so I can finish eating the rest of that. They're delicious, they are perfectly keto compliant, and at under $1 per fat bomb, stick them in your desk at work, why not? Seems like a great option to me. Now, one thing I mentioned earlier is this being Slimfast and them being, that kind of company. The stuff on the packaging is absolutely ridiculous. One thing I want to draw attention to is here, where they're putting 3 net carbs in big letters. Well, they're not really disclosing much, and they are subtracting glycerin, which to me feels a little bit suspicious. The next thing, I'll put it on the screen, it's this list right here. It says 1, 2, 3, and I'm just going to read them to you guys. 1 keto-friendly meal. Enjoy satisfying foods. So far, I can get behind their keto methodology. 2, replace 2 meals a day with Slimfast keto shakes and bars. Hell no. Don't do that. These things are not good to be eating constantly like that. Like 1 a day is going to be pushing it. Once a week, fine, you're going to be good. But doing 2 of these a day, that is definitely going to spike your insulin. 3, enjoy 3 low-carb snacks. Satisfy hunger between meals. Not really buying into that either because I feel like when they're telling you to snack, they're just hoping that you'll eat more of their products. Additionally, once you're fat adapted, I don't really feel like snacking between meals is really a big deal. You're going to be fine eating your normal meals. And then it says, and add Slimfast boosters, keto-compatible supplements to perfectly complement your plan. So, of the 4 things that they want you to do to, follow a optimal keto diet, 3 of them involve buying their products. That gives you a little bit of insight on the motive of this company. Now, it does have like a keto meal plan. I can text it and they'll send it to me, but I'm not going to because it's probably just as ridiculous as everything else on the box. This is just to show you guys once again that just because it says keto does not necessarily mean that it is. Are these the worst keto products or the worst keto products I've ever seen? No, they're not that bad. Figure at most 9 grams of IMO. It's not going to spike your insulin that bad. It's a lot better than having a high concentration of maltodextrin or something like that, but I would still be a little hesitant. The fat bombs, on the other hand, are fantastic, and honestly, if you guys come across these, you're looking for a fat bomb that you don't have to make that's absolutely delicious, I would actually recommend these. These are really, really good. But with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close the video. If you liked the video, leave it a like. If you have any questions or comments for me, leave them in the comments section. And if you have not subscribed yet, do me a huge favor, guys. Hit that subscribe button, show some love, and I will see you in the next one.